Well, I finally got my webcam up and running. I was recording on trial versions of multiple different softwares and finally found a good software that's completely free that I can use. So now the videos are really just going to start being pumped out now that I have good software. I hope if you haven't seen my channel yet that you check out my channel, Wolf Health Auto. To find my channel, you can, by watching this video on Facebook, click the hyperlink to my YouTube channel. And check out my videos on blue-green algae, spirulina, tea, etc. There's going to be multiple videos coming on chlorella, etc. But I wanted to make a video. I'm going to make a multi-part series on the colon and colon health. I'm just going to pick at random a book out of my collection here to start reading from and expounding upon. So let's see. Let's see here. We're gonna read from, or I'm gonna read from Norman Walker's book, Colon Health: The Key to Vibrant Health by Norman Walker. Dr. Science and PhD, you can regain the vitality of your youth. And I mean, this book is incredible. Norman Walker is one of my favorite authors and will continue to be. His books, Water Can Undermine Your Health, Become Younger, Colon Health, I mean, there's a small handful of books that he's put out that are very, very informative and very good. As you can see, I mean, I've tabbed the shit out of this book and made it one of my primary books of study. I mean, every page highlighted, because we know that there's been studies that show that when you read things that have color behind them, you retain them better. In a book like this, you want to retain every piece of information that you read out of it because it's very, very important information. I mean, certain books I fucking devour. This is one of them. I mean, look. A highlight. I mean, it's important to know about your colon, etc. It's important to know how to cleanse it, how to clean it, etc. So let's start here. Page 1, and again, I'm giving all the credit to Norman Walker. I'm not saying that I own the rights to any of the information. It's all his. I'm just spreading it in hopes that other people can pick up the information and make their lives better by absorbing the information. Chapter 1, the colon and the health of your body. Your body needs attention. Your body is the house in which you live. By analogy, it is just like the building in which you make your home. Your home needs, at the very least, periodical attention, otherwise the roof may leak, the plumbing may get old or out of order and clog up, termites will drill through the floors and the walls, and other innumerable causes of deterioration will make their appearance. Such is the case with your physical body. Every function and activity of your system, day and night, physical, mental, and spiritual, is dependent on the attention you give it. He's saying that he's comparing the body to a house. I mean, the house needs maintenance. It needs to be painted. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be vacuumed. Plumbing needs to be checked. Valves need to be checked. Again, the carpets need to be cleaned. The trash needs to be taken out, etc. It's a great analogy comparing the body to a house, because just like the house, the body requires a lot of maintenance, brushing your teeth, keeping your colon clean, cleansing. This author is a big proponent on colonic irrigations. Colonic irrigation is basically when you have your colon irrigated with water, a saline solution that gets pumped into your colon and cleans the waste matter out of it by scrubbing the sides of the colon with injecting water into it. That may sound very unsafe. I ask you, if you do think it's unsafe, to pick up a book on colon health and a multitude of other books on enemas, colonic irrigations, and colon health. I mean, you may think it's unhealthy to clean your colon with colonic irrigations or an enema, but if you can see what I've seen come out of people, then you'll know that you'd rather have it a colonic irrigation to get the shit out of you than keep it in your body. Remember, the putrefaction and fermentation of unprocessed food. What I mean by that is some foods create waste matter that is very hard and very non-lubricated. And when waste matter of that nature gets digested, many times when it goes into the colon for the final push out of the organism, the waste matter, the feces, the poop, etc., is so hard and so non-lubricated that it literally gets impacted on the sides of the walls of the colon. I'm not saying all of it does, but a good amount of it does. And when you study what happens to impacted feces, and again, impacted feces is feces that gets impacted onto the sides and crevices of the colon, predicated upon the nature of the waste matter. If the waste matter left over, your excrement, is excrement from processed foods, dense foods, it's non-live foods, etc., it often, remnants of your feces will get caught in your colon. And you may be one of these people. Oh, no, it's impossible. I don't have anything in my colon. Well, you're in denial. You're in denial. I know what I've taken out of me. I've seen what's come out of others. It's like people say all the time, oh, colonic irrigations, enemas, etc. They're completely unnatural. They're not good for the body. Well, just like Norman Walker says, and I agree with him, the way we live our lives here in the Western world, in the United States of the Matrix, that type of lifestyle is unnatural. When you eat unnaturally, and your unnatural lifestyle leaves impacted feces on the inside of your colon, which leads to putrefaction, fermentations, cancers, etc., you're going to realize that you have to resort to unnatural measures to get the stuff out. If we lived on an alkaline diet rich in mineral-rich, water-filled fruits, vegetables, teas, nuts, seeds, herbs, extracts, flowers, etc., the leftover feces, there wouldn't be any, because these foods digest very easily. They're very easily on the GI tract. Small intestine has a much easier job assimilating and pulling nutrients out of raw, organic, live, enzyme-rich foods than they do processed foods like ramen noodles and the white starches, refined carbohydrates, etc., all the whey protein, etc. If you've seen what I've seen come out of people through enemas, and especially colonic irrigations, you'd say, holy shit. And again, I'm not necessarily even a big fan of colonic irrigations or enemas. I'm more of a fan of living a naturalistic lifestyle where you don't have to resort to these things. But after 20 years of eating a standard American diet, low in enzymes, low in vitamins, etc., you're going to have to, if you want to get the stuff out of you, resort to something like a colonic irrigation or a enema to get the stuff out of you, because the poop is so impacted that your peristaltic movement, etc., it can't force it out of your colon. So again, I'm more of a proponent in getting on a naturalistic plant-based diet and then using a few enemas per week to cleanse the colon, to get all the waste matter out, and then you're good. Then I would do it, once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, a good enema and possibly a colonic irrigation to get the stuff out. And again, I've seen what's come out of me. I've seen worms come out of people. Remember, when you go get a colonic irrigation, they have a reputable colonic irrigation outlet has a colonic irrigation system that has an observatory tube where you can see the impacted fecal matter coming out of you as it gets pumped out of you. And you can also, excuse me, you can also just see how much of this stuff you've accumulated. And it's not just poop from the food you ate last night. Remember, I've done enemas after fasting where there's no food in my stomach, etc. for days, and then I've done enemas and, I've had crazy shit come out, not to mention the liberated way you feel after this stuff comes out of you. Some of this stuff might have been in you for years. It's like mortar on a wall. Some of some of the fecal matter from these foods we eat is so dense and so non-lubricated in moisture that it will literally stick to the inside of your colon like putty, or like fucking, like if you took, Lou Corona has a good analogy. It's like if you took thick oatmeal and threw it against a wall and let it dry, it'd be there for years, unless you had some type of scrubbing method to get it off, or a brush, etc. But again, we're going to continue reading colon health. The kind and the quality of the food you put into your body is of vital importance to every phase of your existence. Good nutrition not only regenerates and rebuilds the cells and tissues which constitute your physical body, but also is involved in the processes by which the waste matter, the undigested food, is eliminated from your body to prevent corruption in the form of fermentation and putrefaction. Again, good nutrition not only regenerates and rebuilds the cells and tissues which constitute your physical body, but also is involved in the processes by which the waste matter, the undigested food, is eliminated from your body to prevent corruption in the form of fermentation and putrefaction. Remember, when you have fecal matter that's been in your colon for months that is so impacted and so hard that it can't leave your organism, it begins to ferment and putrefy. And putrefaction leads to the burning, the acidified burning of the inside of the soft tissue of the colon. This corruption, if retained and allowed to accumulate in the body, prevents any possibility of attaining any degree of vibrant health. Remember, the body is like basic plumbing. If you plug your plumbing up, you affect the whole entire organism, because you restrict the way that fluids and waste, etc., move in and out of the organism. If you plug an organism up, you're going to make it sick. The way to alleviate that is to deplug yourself. Now, you don't have to get a colonic irrigation. You don't have to get an enema. There's also other methods of cleansing the colon through teas and herbal formulas, etc. I'm just giving you the author's opinion from Colon Health and expounding upon it with my own opinions, etc. There's herbal laxatives out there. There's colon cleansing herbs like rhubarb and senna, and what are the other ones? There's multiple. Look into them. Some of these herbal laxatives, they shock the body into stimulating peristaltic movement. And they do work, but I'm not saying they're 100% safe in the long term. If you're serious about cleansing, you can use them a few times to get the stuff out of you, but if you essentially with health, you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to be dedicated to it, because if you start cleansing, giving yourself enemas and removing all this waste, and then you go back to a non-healthy lifestyle, you're just going to begin to accumulate the waste matter which you already had accumulated, that you got rid of with your colon cleansing. And if you reaccumulate, you're going to have to deaccumulate again. If you reaccumulate, you're going to have to deaccumulate again. So the goal should be to completely get on a diet and a lifestyle that is pro-life, pro-health, pro-colon cleansing, etc. I mean, you need to look at Dr. Shinya out of Japan and what he's done with colon cameras, etc. I mean, if you can see the state of the colon, small intestine, etc., you'd be fucking shocked. I've seen colons that were so impacted. Oh my god. By the way, this is a chart of the colon. Okay, let me try to get a good angle here. It's hard. This over here, these 6 images, this is a healthy colon. This is what happens to a colon when it's plugged and filled with all sorts of heavy, dense foods. Especially with old people, the weight of the food, etc., can actually warp the colon into being misshaped like this. And when you do that, you fuck your whole entire anatomy up, let me tell you. So you've got your cecum, ascending colon, ileocecal valve, heptic flexure, transverse colon, splenic flexure, descending colon, rectum, anus, and sigmoid. That constitutes the colon. And each of these little bumpy nodules, I'll get into that later, but essentially the quality of feces that you have is basically a reflection of the quality of food you eat. Okay, I'm at 15 minutes. This is going good so far. I'm planning to hopefully make a colon series, 6 hours maybe, 7 hours, I don't know. Again, I'm doing this information to try to help the public because I see the public more often than not being completely bamboozled, hoodwinked, and cheated by the large pharmaceutical cartel and the mainstream medicine association. So I'm giving you my perspectives and what I've learned, and I'm sharing some of my information that I've learned over the years on my journey towards alternative health so that you can possibly be sparked by what I'm talking about and do some of your own research. I mean, again, the quality of feces that you have is a direct reflection of the quality of food that you put into your organism. And, many people they're oblivious to the fact that the food that they put in their organism has a direct correlation to the quality of their state of mind, their endurance, their flexibility, etc. But continuing colon health again, Dr. Norman Walker, colon health, you can regain your vitality, the vitality of your youth. Okay, the elimination of undigested food and other waste products is equally as important as the proper digestion and assimilation of food. In fact, because of the danger of the inevitable effects of toxemia, of toxic poisons as the outcome of the neglected accumulation and failure to expel feces, debris, and other waste matter from the body, I can think of nothing more significant and vital. Again, the elimination of undigested food and other waste products is equally as important as the proper digestion and assimilation of food. In fact, because of the danger of the inevitable effects of toxemia, of toxic poisons as the outcome of the neglected accumulation and failure to expel feces, debris, and other waste matter of the body, I can think of nothing more significant and vital. Few of us realize that failure to effectively eliminate waste products from the body causes so much fermentation and putrefaction in the large intestine or colon that the neglected accumulation of such waste can and frequently does result in lingering demise. So important, so important. And I repeat myself often because usually what I'm talking about is important, and I know that repetition of a message constitutes mental programming. I'm not trying to mentally program people, but I'm trying to repeat myself so that possibly these seeds that I'm throwing out can be thrown into the minds of moist people with moist brains, so to speak, so that they can grow. And again, this information like this is not being publicly announced, etc., and it needs to be. I'm going to make some videos probably on the pharmaceutical cartel and the Western medical paradigm and how they have literally suppressed people from having actual health. Again, if you don't believe me, wait until my videos come out and I'll crush you with information. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, I've done my research, I've done my homework. Essentially, I know the nature of the beast, so I'm going to continue to attempt to help people, help themselves, and hopefully through that they can help other people help themselves and kind of create a chain reaction effect that can be kind of a process of awakening others, because we need people who are conscious here at this time and age in history. Okay, this is on page 4. The colon, your body's sewer. The colon is a natural breeding ground for bacteria. The purpose and function of this bacteria is to neutralize, dissipate, avoid, and prevent a toxic condition from developing in the colon. However, there are two types of bacteria, namely the healthy, scavenging type known as Bacilli coli and the pathogenic or disease-producing kind. In a proper, clean, healthy environment, the healthy scavenging bacteria will control the pathogenic kind. When too much fermentation and putrefaction is generated in the colon due to neglecting to keep it as free from feces and waste as possible, the pathogenic bacteria proliferate and ailments result. Such waste must necessarily be expelled from the body, and for this purpose your colon is equipped with a very efficient eliminative system. That is to say, efficient, if it is good and in proper working order. functioning on the schedule suited to your physical condition. Page 5, the very purpose of the colon as an organ of elimination is to collect all fermentative and putrefactive toxic waste from every part of the anatomy, and by the peristaltic waves of the muscles of the colon remove all solid and semi-solid waste from the body. And again, I mean, years ago, when I ate lots of animal flesh, lots of baked goods, and a complete lack of raw foods rich in enzymes and live foods with bacteria, etc., and the healthy bacteria, etc., in them, there were times when I'd go to the bathroom where the feces would be so dry that, like, it was just, it would hurt to come out. Waste matter that is of a salubrious nature to the organism comes out easily. It's not compacted. You're not supposed to have to push hella hard to get the waste matter out of your organism. Remember, when you push really hard, you're affecting your prostate, etc. So, I mean, goddamn, I believe it was John Wayne that died, and the guy had in his colon, or it might have been in his small intestine, excuse me, or etc., over 20 pounds of just impacted feces. Imagine what leaving your impacted feces in the inside of your organism will do to you after years. It'll ferment and putrefy and lead to other ailments and mental pathologies, etc. I mean, some of these people that I've read testimonials about, they get colonic irrigations, and literally, I mean, after 2 or 3 of these, they pump so much fecal matter out of their organism, they say they completely feel liberated afterwards. They feel like a new human. And is it that far-fetched to think that getting rid of years of putrefied fermenting waste matter stuck and impacted on the sides of the colon, don't you think that's going to make you feel better to get rid of that? I mean, live in a room that's always filthy, or a house that's always filthy, like one of these motherfuckers on one of these hoarding shows. I mean, living in turmoil, a mess is not something you want to live in. You clean up the mess and you feel better instantly because you're not being surrounded by waste and junk and shit just accumulating everywhere. Same goes with your body. You need to keep your colon clean, especially if we're going to evolve as humans. How the fuck are we going to evolve and move into the higher dimensions of reality if we can't even keep our organism clean, if we can't keep the machine, the biosuit clean? I mean, goddamn. Okay, continuing, page 5. In simple words, the colon is the sewage system of the body. Nature's laws of preservation and hygiene require and insist that the sewage system be cleansed regularly under penalty of the innumerable ailments, sicknesses, and diseases that follow as the night follows the day, if waste is allowed to accumulate. Let me repeat that. I kind of said that in a broken manner. In simple words, the colon is the sewage system of the body. Nature's laws of preservation and hygiene require and insist that the sewage system be cleansed regularly under penalty of the innumerable ailments, sicknesses, and diseases that follow as the night follows the day if waste is allowed to accumulate. A beautiful quote. Norman Walker's a very bright individual. He's dead now, but I mean, he lived to be well over 100. Not to cleanse the colon is like having the entire garbage collecting staff in your city go on strike for days on end. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if your garbage man, if the waste management facility, everyone just got laid off, but everyone still continued to, throw waste in their cans, etc. And after months, let alone years, there would be so much waste on the fucking around the neighborhood that you live in that plagues would probably exist from the fermentation and putrefaction of the garbage. Motherfuckers walking around out front to get the mail, surrounded by all this garbage waste matter. I mean, you probably it would get contagious because it would get so filthy. Same goes with your colon. You have a bunch of filth and dead poop, etc. sitting in there. I mean, you're asking for a host of ailments. Especially, and I'm going to get into this probably in part 2. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to get into it today, but essentially, one second. Get my little poker here. Essentially, each one of these nodules in the colon has a direct relation to a different part of the anatomy. So, 64 esophagus. So when waste matter comes through here, it reacts to this node and sends signals to the esophagus. The same goes with the ears, tonsils, eyes, the heart, the gallbladder, liver, etc. So if you have fermenting putrefied waste matter in these little nodules inside the colon, say if you have a bunch of poop in the area of the throat, it can affect your throat because these nodes are supposed to be open. There's little receptors on them. The quality of waste matter that comes through the colon dictates whether or not you're going to be helping your throat. Excuse me. The quality of waste matter that you put in your body is directly related to the health of the throat, bronchioles, esophagus, etc., in relationship to the fact that there's little relay centers in the colon that sets signals to the particular part of your anatomy predicated upon the quality of fecal matter that is particularly going through this particular region on the colon, starting from the ileocecal valve all the way down to the anus. I'm going to elaborate on that more as I continue this series. That was kind of broken. It's kind of a hard thing to explain. I'm gonna go into it deeper though. I need to get a stand for my camera so I can position it. These are Norman Walker charts, by the way. Norman Walker put out a bunch of tools for humanity to use. He left behind a ton of good information, and some of these are his charts, such as the colon therapy chart and the endocrine gland chart. He also has the reflexology charts with the feet, etc. They're about $6. I mean, my office that I operate in, I need charts. I got more charts. I got all sorts of shit around here that I'll probably share. But for now, I'm just shedding wisdom on the books, etc. I mean, start collecting wisdom, books, etc. I don't think there's anything more pertinent than gaining wisdom, but I'm going off on a tangent. I'm at 27 minutes. Let's see here. I have this book called I can't remember the name of it. This is the book. Let's see here. The Human Body Book by Steve Parker, forward by Robert Winston. The Human Body Book. Fucking sweet book. Expensive, but awesome. I mean, look. It's got everything in it, man. Charts. Everything. Let me see if I can find the colon in here. Let's go to the index. And I have no clue who's watching these videos. Probably not many people at this point. I don't know how to tag my YouTube videos. I believe that once I start tagging my videos, more and more people will start to watch this. But for now, I'm just basically advertising it through HealthNet on Facebook or EHN Earth's HealthNet. But, I believe that if I keep making these videos, the information is going to take off. So if you are one of the few watching this video who like my content on Facebook, thank you. And, thank you. This information I've spent years studying this stuff and unplugging from the mainstream media. So, I mean, if you want to hear an alternative standpoint to medicines, etc., watch my videos, hit me up on Facebook, send me some private messages, we can chop it up. Let's see, colon. How the fuck is it? Okay. 173, looks like. Let's see here. 173, almost there. Digestive anatomy, this is not going to work. It's not a good enough chart. Hold on, guys. Colon 180 and 181. Okay. Let's see what this has to offer. Okay, large intestine. Okay, and again, I'm not taking credit for this. This is out of this book. I'm using this to spread information so people can fucking become wiser, etc. Large intestine at the top of page 180. The large intestine is the final part of the digestive tract and comprises three main regions: the cecum, colon, and rectum. The cecum is a short pouch that links the small intestine to the colon. and that's right above or around the region of the ileocecal valve. The large intestine is the final part of the digestive tract and comprises three main regions: the cecum, colon, and rectum. The cecum is a short pouch that links the small intestine to the colon, which is about 5 feet long. The colon changes liquid digestive waste products from the small intestine into a more solid form that the body excretes as feces via the rectum and anus. And again, the rectum and anus, let me get my poker here, is where you excrete everything. Everyone should know that. I'm just saying. And again, I want to show you the disfigurement that can happen to the colon through a non-natural lifestyle, which is here. Let me zoom in. See what happens? Again, this is a healthy fucking colon. Sorry for the angle. I'm bad at filming with this webcam. This is a healthy colon. This is what happens to some people who live a sedentary, non-healthy, non-enzyme-rich lifestyle filled with fecal matter that's so heavy that it actually warps the actual tissue into disfiguring itself into some aberrated version of the colon as seen here on the right. So, okay, the colon, you guys, right here. This is your eliminative section of your organism. The final push out where you continue to assimilate things to a certain degree. Excuse me, I'm going to rant on that later. Okay, role of the colon. Here we go. Role of the colon. When the chemical breakdown of food in the small intestine is complete, almost all the nutrients vital for bodily function have been absorbed. The waste matter, remember, almost all the nutrients vital for bodily functions have been absorbed. That doesn't mean all of them. Colon does upload some things, let me tell you. The waste product from this process is partially digested liquefied food, also known as chyme, C-H-Y-M-E. This passes from the small intestine through the ileocecal valve into the cecum. Ileocecal valve, I showed you guys that. I'll show you again. Ileocecal valve, see where it says that? Ileocecal valve. This passes again from the small intestine through the ileocecal valve into the cecum. From there, it reaches the first part of the colon, the ascending colon. The main function of the colon is to convert. This is very important. The main function of the colon is to convert the liquid chyme into semi-solid feces for storage and disposal. Sodium chloride and water are absorbed through the lining of the colon into the blood and the lymph, making the feces less watery. Bicarbonate and potassium are secreted by the colon to replace the sodium and chloride. There are also billions of symbiotic or friendly microorganisms within the colon, and that's what Norman Walker was talking about when he expounded upon the fact that if you have a proliferation of putrefying and fermenting waste matter that's impacted, that hasn't been removed from the colon properly due to proper food ingestion, you start to develop non-beneficial bacterium due to the putrefaction and fermentation process of the feces. But again, there are also billions of symbiotic or friendly microorganisms within the colon. Yeah, if you keep it healthy, if you keep it cleansed. If you don't, and you have all sorts of impacted fecal matter in your organism, you are literally like just opening the gate and saying, okay, parasites, okay, creatures, just come and fucking rape me. And I'm not trying to sound rude, but I mean, we gotta clean ourselves as humans if we want to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise, essentially. Layers of the colon wall. The colon wall has several layers. The first is an outer coating, known as the serosa. Inside this is the muscularis layer, which comprises two bands of smooth muscle fibers, longitudinal and then circular. These are responsible for colonic movements. The next layer is the submucosa, which has many small lobes of lymphatic tissue called lymphoid nodules. Innermost is the undulating mucosa. This contains goblet cells in the intestinal glands, which secrete lubricating mucus to ease the passage of feces.
Again, when I go on these long tangents and rants, reading out of these books, sometimes it's like I get dyslexic because I'm trying to read too quick. And again, I'm gonna give you guys a shot of the inside walls of the colon, etc. And again, this book is cool. I think it was about $55. I don't know. But I mean, it's. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's basically an atlas of your organism. Don't you want to know what your organism is and what it looks like, how it works, etc.? I mean, goddamn, that's more important to me than football and cheap beer. Okay. I have about 5 books by Norman Walker. I've loaned some to friends that they still have them, they're reading them, but another good one to check out is Diet and Salad. Another good one to check out is Water Can Undermine Your Health, Become Younger, and also Fresh Vegetable and Fruit Juices. Great book. Great recipe book. So is this one. Old but good. I personally, if I would go back and buy this book again, I would try to get the newer copy. The information is the same, it's just not the old books. Some old books, they just their bindings aren't good. That's what I'm getting at. So try to get a new one. Newer. Again, go to Yahoo, or excuse me, Amazon. Type in Dr. Norman Walker. Bam. Most of his stuff can be bought for under $10. Usually, most of his books are about a penny. And yes, they're used, but why would you need a new book? Get a used one for a fucking penny. Where did I put my colon health book? Okay. Continuing. Page 13. It is not for me to tell you what you must and what you must not do. Just use your God-given intelligence and keep your internal organs clean and intact. After all, it's your body. We live in a paradigm here in the United States where people don't even give a shit about their bodies. I mean, it's literally put the pedal to the fucking metal and put the pedal to the floor when it comes to eating junk food. I mean, go all out with it. But when it comes to health food, I mean, be careful. Don't eat that. I mean, we've been programmed here through the repetition of messages, through advertisement, etc. That, you know, life here, you eat steak, you eat refined carbs, you eat GMO. It's all good for you, not bad for you. Keep believing it, blah, blah, blah. If you're that type of person, pick up a book like Colon Health, pick up a book on spirulina, pick up a food about alternative medicine, start researching GMOs and looking what happens look at the rat studies on GMOs. I mean, come on. Ranting. To continue. Here's an interesting quote. Do not expect 1 or 2 colonic irrigations to revitalize your system if you have neglected to take care of its excreta for 20, 30, or even 60 to 80 years, any more than you would expect a pill to cause all your ailments and troubles to vanish overnight. Again, do not expect 1 or 2 colonic irrigations to revitalize your system if you have neglected to take care of its excreta for 20 to 30 or even 60 to 80 years, any more than you would expect a pill to cause all your ailments and troubles to vanish overnight. Look up Charlotte Gerson, and whose father started the Gerson therapy, and look into their enema procedures with coffee enemas, water enemas, baking soda. I think they use baking soda enemas, aluminum free. I'm not 100% sure though. Gerson therapy is the first thing you look up. If one of your family members or friends, etc., has cancer and they're considering radiation and all this crazy fucking Western matrix bullshit, this crazy shit, you tell them to look up Gerson therapy. Go on YouTube and look up The Beautiful Truth, the documentary on the Gerson therapy. I mean, look at Charlotte Gerson. I believe she's 98. I believe she was 98 2 or 3 years ago. And she looked like she was fucking young as fuck. Her eyes looked clean and clear. She was mentally sharp, etc. And she lives a naturalistic lifestyle that promotes the clean, healthy, cleansed colon. She eats nothing but raw foods and vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, teas, extracts, flowers, etc. And she is an exemplification of the efficacy of an alternative lifestyle and how it does have efficacy and that it does work. Charlotte Gerson with a C. Charolette, I think, maybe how you spell it. And then Gerson, Gerson. Just go on Google Gerson therapy. Again, Gerson. I mean, goddamn. Okay, here we go. Okay, healthy colon, page 17, a lifetime procedure. In the preceding pages, we have learned how vitally important it is to keep the colon clean and washed out periodically. We will now study the mysterious and miraculous manner by which certain areas of the colon are both directly and indirectly related to the various organs and glands throughout the anatomy. Okay, this is what I was talking about when I started talking about how each bumpy nodule within the colon has a direct relation to a particular part of your anatomy that those particular nodules are connected to. So, we will now study, this is very important, we will now study the mysterious and miraculous manner by which certain areas of the colon are both directly and indirectly related to various organs and glands throughout the anatomy. Bingo! What could a pimple have to do with the colon? What does eye, ear, or throat trouble have to do with the colon? How can the colon possibly have anything to do with the head, the feet, the heart, or the glands? When there is a disturbance in any part, very important, listen here closely. When there is a disturbance in any particular area of the colon, we can tell in which part of the anatomy an affliction is present or likely to appear. Again, very important. When there is a disturbance in any particular area of the colon, we can tell in which part of the anatomy an affliction is present or likely to appear. The colon is intimately related to every cell and tissue in the body. Again, the colon is intimately related to every cell and tissue in the body. One more time. The colon is intimately related to every cell and tissue in the body. God damn it. As you will learn by the time you finish studying this book. Oh my God, I love this book. This book was the gate opener for me. It opened up this years ago. This is one of the first books I bought when I started accumulating and collecting these health and these occult books. This opened the door, and I hope that you possibly get motivated, want to pick up a copy of Norman Walker's book. This book is not long, man. It's fucking 120 pages. You can read it in a fucking weekend. Read it, though. Very important. It's basically a manual to your health and your colon and keeping it clean. On the face of it, this statement seems absurd. However, we must consider that our troubles started at birth, soon after we inhaled our first breath. Did Mama watch how and what our baby's bowels evacuating? Regularity of the bowels should start at birth and continue until the autopsy indicates to what extent we have cared for or neglected the attention the colon is a must-have. Again, regularity of the bowels should start at birth and continue until the autopsy indicates to what extent we have cared for or neglected the attention the colon must have. Generally, progressive degeneration of the colon begins shortly after birth. A normal baby's colon is perfect for a while. From childhood through adolescence, discipline, or lack of it, is greatly responsible for its condition. Therefore, knowledge and free will determine the condition of the colon and its effect on the individual's physical, mental, and spiritual health throughout the rest of his life. Again, some of these need to be repeated. Therefore, knowledge and free will determine the condition of the colon and its effect on the individual's physical, mental, and spiritual health throughout the rest of his life. And that's easy to understand. If the body is like plumbing, if you back your plumbing up, the rest of your anatomy, the rest of your psychology, your mentalism, your spirituality, etc., is not going to work properly, predicated upon the fact that your body and your spirituality and your state of mentalism is dependent upon whether or not you are plugged up and backed up. Body's like a filter. It's supposed to be clean, though. It's not supposed to be backed up and have putrefaction of strange yeast, molds, funguses, etc., proliferating in the colon and throughout other parts of the anatomy. You fuck yourself up by backing yourself up. You open the door to parasites. And if you get parasites in you, they are not that easy to get out. I'm talking about fungal networks, Candida albicans, Schistosoma mansoni, the tapeworms, all of this. And again, I mean, to learn about parasites, Parasite Rex, man. Wow. What a good book. There's some creatures, some parasites. People go, I don't have parasites in me. Well, then you don't know much about parasites, because they're everywhere. Parasites aren't just tapeworms and hookworms, flukeworms. They're also yeasts, molds, and funguses, microparticulated creatures that can live in abundance in the colon, in certain tissues of the lungs, etc. And to think that, I mean, people, food, the quality of food you put in, again, affects the quality and health of your colon. And if you have all sorts of nasty shit putrefying in your colon, these yeast, these molds, these funguses, these parasites, etc., they live in that condition. They live in a putrefying, fermentating, acidified condition of acidosis. If you have acidosis, you have parasites, plain and simple. Even healthy people have parasites. But what I'm saying is unhealthy people have a proliferation of the wrong parasites, bacteriums, etc. And getting these things out of us is paramount to the quality of health that we harbor. 46 minutes. Again, God damn. I wish I had enough time to make these. I could make a one-part series. It's 8-hour long colon rant. I mean, god damn. Again, I'm going to repeat this. The colon is intimately related to every cell and tissue in the body, as you will learn by the time you finish studying this book. I want to continue to expound upon the how we will now study the mysterious and miraculous manner by which certain areas of the colon are both directly and indirectly related to the various organs and glands throughout the anatomy. Okay. Bear with me. Excuse me while I look for these quotes. Bear with me. Okay, I am going to take a moment to tell you guys that I'm going to wait until part 2 or 3 to discuss how the nodules in the parts of the colon are directly related to every other part of our anatomy, and how the quality of feces that you have traveling through the colon can affect those certain particular areas that are related to other parts of the anatomy, and how having putrefying, fermenting waste matter in the colon will literally affect the part of the anatomy which the particular region in your colon that has putrefying waste matter in is related to. So again, if you have waste matter proliferating in the part of your colon that's responsible for the health of your heart and has nerve endings, etc., that are connected to the heart, there's it kind of what I'm getting at is what Norman Walker talks about is say someone has heart issues. Well, he goes on to say that if you look at someone's colon that has heart issues, 9 times out of 10 they have impacted or putrefying matter in the region of the colon that is responsible for keeping or is related to the heart. So if you have impacted feces in the part of the colon that is connected to the heart, you can see how it will relate to the health of your heart, because if the bumpy nodule that the waste matter is sitting in and encrusted in is related to, say, the heart, I mean, that particular part of the colon can't breathe properly. The colon's supposed to be clean and smooth and lubricated and oxygenated, not filled with waste matter, god damn it. So if you fucking have impacted waste matter in the part of the colon that is directly related to the adrenal glands, and you have adrenal problems, there you go. But many people are not aware of this. So if you have like a heart condition or a bone condition or a bladder, testes condition or a throat or a bronchial condition, esophagus, trachea, liver, gallbladder, heart, thyroid gland, mammary glands, asthma, nasal cataracts, the nasal region, then you need to clean your colon out. And not just once, man. You need to go get all the waste matter out of your colon. And you need to start living a lifestyle that will promote the health and the growth of your organism. Waste matter is a big problem. Remember, the body's like plumbing, and when you fuck with the plumbing of your organism, you fuck with every cell of your body. You fuck it with it all. The whole thing. Everything is related to itself. Everything is one system that combines the organs, etc., to create consciousness, and etc. I'm going to get into that later. That's more of a metaphysical topic. That there'll be plenty to rant on about that. But again, I'm going to wait to thoroughly discuss how the colon is related to every part of the anatomy. That'll be in probably part 2 or part 3. For now, I'm just going to go skimming through this book. I haven't read it in a few years, but so I don't know exactly what part of the book Norman Walker talks about. You know, how the waste matter. God, I lost my train of thought. What I'm getting at here is I don't know what part of the book Norman Walker explains thoroughly how each part of the colon is directly related to a different part of the anatomy. So I'm going to have to read the book again, probably tonight or tomorrow, and find that part, and then I'll make part 2 or part 3. But until then, I'm just going to continue ranting and giving out little bits of information out of this book. And again, I'm not going to give too much information out of the book because I want other people to buy it. I can't legally read the whole entire book on YouTube, otherwise I probably would. But I respect the author and I want people to support his establishment, etc. So, you know, pick up a copy of this book. There we go, page 25, first paragraph, about halfway down. In the paragraph, every time waste matter accumulates in the colon, which results in fermentation and putrefaction, a disturbance takes place both in the afflicted area of the colon and its corresponding part of the anatomy. Oh, okay, it looks like I just found the part I was looking for. Funny. Every time waste matter accumulates in the colon, which results in fermentation and putrefaction, a disturbance takes place both in the afflicted area of the colon and in its corresponding part. Again, very important. Every time waste matter accumulates in the colon. So imagine if you have waste matter accumulated in the part of the colon related to the throat, and it's impacted. Just imagine that as I read this quote, this passage. So you have waste impacted, not moving, just sitting there putrefying in the part of the colon responsible or connected to the throat. Again, imagine that as I read this. Every time waste matter accumulates in the colon, which results in fermentation and putrefaction, a disturbance takes place both in the afflicted area of the colon and its corresponding part of the anatomy. So if you have impacted feces in the colon, it's not only affecting this part of the colon, but it's directly affecting your throat because it's the impacted matter is afflicting the proper flow of fluids, etc., in this part of the colon. And you need to get rid of that shit. So if you have sore throats all the time, if you have throat problems, etc., clean your colon out, man. And read this book first. I'm not asking you to just go out and blindly get a colonic irrigation. Remember, if you're going to get a colonic irrigation, you need to go to a reputable source. You need to find one that is backed up by peer reviews and people who have analysis certificates, etc. Some of these places, I've seen some of these janky hole-in-the-wall colonic irrigation places, and it's just I don't trust those. I personally administer myself my own enemas. Colonic irrigations are expensive. They're kind of embarrassing too. I'm not saying they're embarrassing, but I mean essentially, an enema you can self-administer by yourself. Colonic irrigation, you lay on a table with a hose up injected slightly into your rectum, and a technician sits there with you and pumps water into you and out of you at the same time. And if you think these things are unhealthy, if you think a colonic irrigation is going to hurt you or kill you, I mean, there's always so many skeptical people. They're so afraid. Read this book. Then you will realize how it's not unhealthy and that what's more dangerous to your health is the type of food that you eat and how it directly, what's more unhealthy is the foods you eat and how they destroy the health of your colon. Remember, acidifying acidosis-based dead food, no enzymes, etc., leaves impacted, hard feces in the colon. What's more dangerous, getting rid of the accumulation that you've accumulated that's killing you, or just leaving it in because you're afraid of a fucking colonic irrigation or an enema? And if you're afraid of an enema or colonic irrigation, it's probably because some MD or someone injected you with a bunch of fear-based nonsense about it. I mean, many people have opinions about colonic irrigations and enemas. They've never even done them. But they know that it's bad. They know that it's unhealthy. I would never get a colonic irrigation. They're so bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Even though I've never tried one. Even though I've never read a book, let alone 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 on the subject. I just know that they're bad for me. I mean, again, read Colon Health, man. Read books on colon cleansing. Look up look into Dan McDonald's video on YouTube. His YouTube channel is The Life Regenerator. See what he has to say about colonic irrigations. Look up Dr. God, his book used to be right here. Here it is. Look up Dr. Robert Morse. Read the Detox Miracle Source book. This isn't related to enemas in this book, but it goes into heavy detail about colon cleansing herbs and teas, etc., that can help you cleanse your colon. I personally recommend enemas and using a colon formula, which will be available on my website. I'm formulating it right now. I have herbs. I know what works. I've been doing this a while. They're going to be available soon. Sooner than later, the website. And dude, if you're at this video right now at 56 minutes, thank you for watching this. I hope that the information people are absorbing. And, I don't really expect too many people to watch these things right now, just because we live in kind of a culture that's programmed to neglect alternative health and embrace the culture of death, as Gabriel Cousins likes to call it, the culture of death. Chemtrails everywhere, polluted water, fluoride in the water. We know that fluoride was given administers to Jewish people in the Nazi concentration camps to keep them dumb. There's arsenic in the water. There's all sorts of plutonium, radium, parasites, pipe residue. I mean, we've been programmed to think that we've been programmed to consume shit. I mean, how long could we live if we, since day one, embraced a diet that was pro-evolution and not pro-devolution, devolution, or devolution, to go downward instead of upward? I mean, how far could we have gone as humans? I mean, we can still do this, man. Remember, our kids are supposed to be quicker and smarter than us, not dumber and fatter and lazier. I can't remember who said that. I think Dr. Kassar said that one time. Robert Hugh Kassar. Check him out, earthshiftproject.com. Or earthshiftproject.com on YouTube, a great YouTube channel. Hundreds of hours of videos. I highly suggest watching them. Okay, page 24. Impurities within the body have a definite effect on the mind and character. A putrid body reflects its condition in the level upon which the mind functions. Again, impurities within the body have a definite effect on the mind and character. A putrid body reflects its condition in the level upon which the mind functions. Gross speech, behavior, and vulgarity are incompatible with a body that is clean within and without. That's very, very important. Gross speech, behavior, and vulgarity are incompatible with a body that is clean within and without. They're basically saying that the health and the cleanliness of your organism dictates the health of your mind, your thoughts, your lusts, your desires, etc. I mean, the United States is a culture of people with backed up plumbing, aka backed up colons. If you don't believe me, I mean, do some research. Many of the people that I debate with here on Facebook, many of the people that I talk to about health, they are always so anti-alternative medicine, man. They've been so programmed, they've been beaten over the head. And again, repetition of a message constitutes mental programming. When you are told since day one that Western medicine is the epitome of etc., or the epitome of what it means to be healthy, I mean, you're going to believe that, especially since you get ingrained with it since you're a little boy or a little girl. Your parents most likely believe everything they're told to a degree. And then I don't mean to be rude either. Um, and then you go through kindergarten, you go through middle school, elementary school, high school, and you're being programmed with a bunch of bogus information, in my opinion, about health, about diet, etc. I mean, look at the foods they're serving in these cafeterias nowadays. I mean, it was all dead milk, dead chicken, dead cow, non-organic food, non-organic fruit, all sorts of pig, swine sausage links and shit. I mean, none of the food was really like live cultured food. None of it was highly enzyme rich. And I could prove that to anyone with Kirlian photography. I can prove that to anyone with Kirlian photography. I'll take a goddamn fresh cacao bean, and you can see what the Kirlian photography looks like of a cacao bean if you go on Google and type in cacao Kirlian photography. Or you can pick up David Wolf's book. God damn it. Naked Chocolate. And I'm not going to show too many. I'll show you right now. Let me see if I think the picture's in here. The Kirlian photography. So what I'm getting at is, here, I'll show you. Again, this all rights, the book belongs to David Wolf and Shazzy. I'm just trying to take bits and pieces out of these books to help people get some info. Pick up the book if you're interested in raw cacao. Very interesting subject. I personally recommend staying away from 95% to 99% of the cacao in the market. It's not processed right. It has large traces of theobromine in it. I'm not saying that theobromine is bad, but what I'm saying is that theobromine that comes from the wrong species of cacao is not going to make you feel very good. It stimulates anger big time. I have some of it in there. I've been experimenting with multiple types of cacao. I've found one that actually works for me. I found a company that uses integrity as they process it, and it actually still has a large trace of the oil in the powder. You want the oil. The oil has the alkaloids in it, the beneficial oils, the brain compounds, etc. But here is a Kirlian. Oh, this is a maca. Damn it! I want to find a Kirlian photography of cacao. Well, anyways, maybe it's got to have a Kirlian photography of cacao in here. Anyways, this is Kirlian photography of maca. Maca is similar to broccoli to a degree. It grows up in high altitudes, though, I believe. I don't know too much about maca. But see all the electricity coming off that fucking thing? Because it's alive. It's radiating electricity. We live in an electrical reality. Raw food is rich in electricity. Now, if you were to take the maca right there and cook it and denature it and mix it with a bunch of oils and a bunch of refined shit, and then you did a Kirlian photography of it, it would put off hardly any light. It would be dim. And that's what I'm getting at. That's what I was getting at with my rant about comparing raw, live, cultured, real enzyme-rich foods to the foods being sold here in the United States at the Matrix at these cafeterias. Take one of these hamburgers being sold at one of these cafeterias and put it in Kirlian photography. It'll conduct no light at all. Dead. Completely dead. And then take a raw cacao bean and put it in Kirlian photography, and it will literally illuminate the entire picture. Tons of electricity. That's what we want to get healthy. You need this electrical value. Here we go. To show you guys one more time. This electricity is what we want. Life is what we want. Things that still have their enzymes and their nutrition in them. In their bioavailable naturalistic form, man. Not all this dead shit. I really hope after an hour of recording this video that my computer doesn't glitch and fucking delete it somehow. Sometimes shit like that happens. I'm not going to stop it. I'd rather, instead of making 9 1-hour segments on the colon, I'd rather make maybe like a 2 or 3 hour segment tonight, just to make it down, cut it down to maybe 3 hour or segments on the colon. And I'm into getting all this stuff, the information out there. I want to thoroughly explain it, so I'm going to take my time. And if you're not patient enough to listen to this information, then, you're not going to learn the information. And this is pertinent information. This is fucking important information on every level. Learning how to take care of your colon is very important. I mean, I've read testimonials and articles about people who have had family members excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice here. He's making videos all day. I've read testimonials of people who had family members that were dying of cancer. Motherfuckers, one of the motherfuckers had like 1 week to live. 1 week. And then somehow the guy's daughter came across, I believe it was this book, and read it, and administered colonic irrigation. Had her dad taken and had a series of colonic irrigations done, and got all the fecal matter out of his colon, and literally said after 3 days of that, 3 to 4 days of constant colonic irrigations done in a safe manner, he was back up and walking. He had more energy, he said, than prior before he had the sickness. And is it that far-fetched to think that all the dead, putrefying fecal matter in your colon, do you really think that that removing that is not going to help you get healthier? I mean, god damn. Metaphorically speaking, I mean, all this waste, that it's like barnacles adhering to the inside or the outside of a boat. If you want your boat to be clean, you got to pay some motherfucker to scrub the barnacles off. You're going to have to pay for a enema kit or colonic irrigation. It's going to cost you some money to invest in yourself, to clean yourself up from the fucking insalubrious lifestyle that's fucked you up so far. And it's just, I can already hear it now, man. People, the colonic irrigations, he's pro colonic irrigations, he's pro enema. That's so damaging for the colon. Bullshit. You know what's more damaging to your colon? Living a lifestyle that makes it look like that. Remember, healthy colon. That's what a healthy colon is supposed to look like. Those are unhealthy colons that are warped from the weight of foods and the different various chemistries that affect their biological phenomenon of existence. That was kind of a deep way of explaining what I'm getting at. What all I'm getting at is that you want your colon to be clean. Just like you want your room to be clean, or your car to be clean, or your goddamn body to be clean. You want your colon and your innards to be clean as well. Here's the interesting quote, page 28. Great quote. It is almost impossible to maintain a clear mind and proper mental and spiritual equilibrium when we allow the colon to go unattended for too long of a time. Again, it is almost impossible to maintain a clear mind and a proper mental and spiritual equilibrium when we allow the colon to go unattended for a long time. That makes absolute sense. How are you going to have a clear mind when your body's not even cleared out and clean? Remember, your plumbing, your colon, your small intestine, etc., is related to the health of your mind, your body, your cells, your glands, etc. So clean yourself out, but do some research on it before you do it. Don't just go do it. Find out how go on Amazon and look at enema kits and get yourself a fucking enema kit. $10, dude? $10 to $50, depending on the kit you want to get. You can get a goddamn stainless steel bucket, a professional enema kit on Amazon for $50, and I mean, that thing will last you a lifetime. Oh, it's $50, man. It's $50. Yeah, it's $50. Who cares? You had no problem spending a fucking $400 on a plasma screen TV. You had no problem spending $1,500 on a laptop. You had no problem spending $20 on some new rap CD. You had no problem, spending fucking $400 on a purse for your girlfriend. You had no problem spending $300 on your fucking haircut. Some of these women, man, getting these haircuts, it's ridiculous. $300, you had no problem buying all this other stuff, but you complain when you need to get a colonic irrigation or a goddamn enema kit. I'm not being a dick. I'm kind of just joking around and relating to you how people are often, it's expensive. The enema's expensive, but did you take into consideration all the things that you've bought in the past that were twice, triple, quadruple that cost, that didn't even give you the benefit that the cheap enema kit is going to give you? Remember, the enema fucking kit can set you free. It can return you to your proper equilibrium, your state of mind, your balance, your mental clarity, etc. No purse is going to fucking do that. No television's going to do that. Hmm. Okay, I'm just looking for some quotes here. I'm at an hour and 10 minutes. It does not require much of my... Okay, very important. Okay, this is getting heavy now. This is getting very heavy and important. This fecal incra... Excuse me. He's referring in this passage to fecal incrustation, which is again impacted feces that did not get excreted from the colon properly, that have accumulated in the colon and have begun to ferment and putrefy. Excuse me, I'm getting kind of a sore throat here. I've been talking all day. This fecal incrustation interferes with, if it does not actually prevent, the infusion of the necessary intestinal flora for colon lubrication, the formation of peristaltic waves for evacuation purposes, and the absorption and use of the additional nutritional elements present in the waste residue coming into the colon from the small intestine. Again, I'm going to repeat this a little bit slower. This fecal incrustation interferes with, if it does not actually prevent, the infusion of the necessary intestinal flora for colon lubrication, the formation of peristaltic waves for evacuation purposes, and the absorption and use of the additional nutritional elements present in the waste residue coming into the colon from the small intestine. It does not require much imagination to perceive that the adhesive quality of the feces in the colon is readily... God damn it, I hate making verbal typos. Or verbal... Beginning again. This is on page 9, second paragraph down from the top. It does not require much imagination to perceive that the adhesive quality of the feces in the colon is readily susceptible to creating a coating on the inside of the lining or wall of the colon resembling a layer of plaster in its consistency. Again, it does not require much imagination to perceive that the adhesive quality of the feces in the colon is readily susceptible to creating a coating in the inside of the lining of the wall of the coating. It's okay. I don't mind making mistakes. When I talk, I've been reading in front of a camera all day, and I get kind of dyslexic when I read all day. But again, I'm not tripping because this is one of the most important passages that I've covered so far. I don't mind feeding it 3 or 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It does not require much imagination to perceive that the adhesive quality of the feces in the colon is readily susceptible to creating a coating on the inside of the lining or wall of the colon, resembling a layer of plaster in its consistency. So if you have fecal matter that has the consistency of plaster, that would literally, if you threw it against a wall, would stay there for 100 years, what makes you think that it's not going to cake the inside of your colon, which is responsible for the health of every other part of your anatomy, whether you know that or not? Now, the better question is, once you realize that you have that shit in you, how are you going to fucking get it out of you? If you want to get it out of you. You may believe that I'm crazy for talking about these things. You may not even believe me. And if you don't, do some research. Read the book. Read 4 or 5 books on colon health. Talk to herbalists. Go on curezone.com. See what's come out of other people. Don't just be on the right side of the fence and say, oh, no, they're bad because my doctor told me they're bad. Yeah, well, a lot of the things your doctor does are very bad, whether you know that or not. Look up iatrogenics. Again, look up iatrogenics. You want to know a little bit about doctors. Iatrogenics. I believe that's what it's called. I hope I didn't just give a bad term out. Let me look it up real quick. Iatrogenics is I'll read the fucking quote to you. I'll make a rant on this too, man. I'm going to make so many rants on this. I'm trying to take Earth's Health Net and take it to the next level. I'm trying to make a news channel for Health Net. So please continue watching. Okay, define. I'm on Google here. Define, and then I'll get back to the colon. Iatrogenesis. Iatrogenesis. Iatrogenesis, this is the definition. Iatrogenesis or an iatrogenic artifact is an inadvertent adverse effect or complication resulting from medical treatment or advice, including that of psychologists, therapists, pharmacists, nurses, physicians, and dentists. Iatrogenesis is basically when doctors fuck people up by giving them recommendations for medications or surgeries, etc., that they should actually have avoided. I mean, I'm talking iatrogenesis is, I believe, over 700,000 people die a year from iatrogenesis. So say your anesthesiologist kind of fucked up her calculations on how much anesthesia you need, and she pumped and spooled too much into your nasal passages and into your body. Into your body, and killed you. That would be iatrogenesis. Again, iatrogenesis or an iatrogenesis or an iatrogenic artifact is an inadvertent adverse effect or complication resulting from the medical treatment or advice, including that of psychologists, therapists, pharmacists, nurses, physicians, and dentists. That's like when dentists recommend that you put mercury fillings or BPA in your mouth. That is an iatrogenic effect. They do it all the time. I'm not necessarily saying that they're bad people for doing it. They're just because they don't know any better. Getting away from iatrogenesis. That to look it up, research that. Very important. It's iatrogenesis. Genesis with an iatro in front of it. Iatrogenesis. Getting back to the colon. Okay. It is equally obvious that, this is on page 9, continuing, it is equally obvious that such a coating in preventing the normal function of the colon has the insidious effect of becoming a generator of toxicity to the detriment of health, happiness, and longevity. You know, very, very, this book hits the nail on the head, man. Oh, man, man, oh, man. Do I have any other books with colon charts? The anatomy coloring book. Let's see if it has an index. How the fuck do you not have an index? Okay. Let's see if we can find the colon here, people. This is the anatomy coloring book by Wynn Caput and Lawrence M. Elson. Fuck, how you got gonna have the goddamn colon in an anatomy book? Is that really not in here? Oh, digestive system, excuse me. Large intestine, 85. What the fuck? Where is page? This book doesn't have page numbers? What are you fucking kidding me? Damn. Alright, I'm not even gonna get into this book. The text is too small. I'll bring that book up in part 2 probably. Let's see. Again, I'm not asking you to go get or telling you to go get a goddamn colonic irrigation or an enema. I'm asking you to read a little bit about it and to do some independent research on the internet, such as looking through curezone.com, etc., so that you can learn about it on your own, because anyone with a rational reasoning mind is going to realize that there's a lot of truth behind this. I know that there's truth behind it because I've seen what I've cleansed out of me with enemas. And I'm not going to stop doing enemas. I don't care how dangerous you think enemas are. What's more dangerous to me is leaving a coating of poop that's like plaster on top of each and every single, and within each crevice of the part of the colon that is directly related to a goddamn other part of the anatomy. So let me grab my poker. Ileocecal valve, we start here. This part is related to the ears, eyes, the trachea. So I mean, if you have poop that's like plaster in coating all of this, And you're affecting each part of your anatomy that is related to these bumpy nodules. Plain and simple, man. Man, that Brando guy, he's all into colonic irrigation, sticking tubes up his ass, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I'm into cleansing the ignorance out of me from my lifestyle of being ignorant to the fact that your colon accumulates, predicated upon the quality of food that you put in it. Waste matter accumulates, predicated upon its consistency, its lubrication, etc. Healthy poop is lubricated poop. It is not dehydrated, oxygen-deprived poop. Plain and simple.
Did you start the food?
Hang tight, guys. I'm looking for quotations here. Okay, page 28. Bottom paragraph. We have found that colon irrigations can and do prevent far more distress than people realize. It is not enough to just take 1 or 2 colonics then quit. One should take as many as are necessary to leave the colon perfectly clean. Once the colon has been thoroughly washed, at least 2 irrigations should be taken twice a year throughout life, yes, as long as we live. Prevention is much better than cure, particularly to avoid premature senility. Excuse me. Man, dude, again, watching these videos, you're going to learn some stuff, so please do watch them. Page 22. Very few people realize how directly the condition of the colon is related to weariness and particularly to stress and nervousness. Again, very few people realize how directly the condition of the colon is related to weariness and particularly to stress and nervousness. Before the danger point is reached in these insidious disturbances, the colon frequently tries to give warning signals, sometimes in the form of cramps, but usually in the form of more or less severe constipation and discomforts. They never assail humans out of the blue, and when the limit of tolerance is just about to be reached, the trouble is triggered by events such as the death of a loved one or... What? Okay, I read that wrong. Excuse me. They never assail humans out of the blue, and when the limit of tolerance is just about reached, the trouble is triggered by events such as the death of a loved one or family disruption, such as a divorce or separation. Personal injury, loss of work, or financial troubles may be contributing factors, or perhaps any of 3 or 4 dozen other personal calamities. What they're saying is that when you get sick, or you have a mental pathology, or you're nervous all the time, that it's the colon or a different part of your anatomy trying to warn you that something's wrong in your anatomy. It's not, oh, I have a brain deficiency. I have a sickness. I have this mental disorder. No, we're not programmed to have mental disorders. Remember, we're programmed to be godchildren. We're programmed to be very healthy, happy, wise individuals. We're not supposed to be plagued with mental illnesses. And the Western medical cartel paradigm construct wants you to believe that you're all sick and you have all mental pathologies and that you're fucking schizoid or etc. It's not true. Mental pathologies, nervousness, cramps, etc., they're all signs from your organism trying to show you or tell you something. That is how the body speaks. But we've been shut off from listening to our bodies. We think that when we get a cramp or that we have pain in our leg or a sore throat, that we're taught to go down to the fucking pharmacy and get fed on antibiotics. Antibiotics are not going to get rid of your unhealthy, insalubrious state of plaster-coated fecal matter in your colon. No, it's just going to suppress your symptom. Remember, this is why I don't like doctors. Doctors treat symptoms, they don't treat the cause. So, the cause of the mental pathology would be and most likely in cases due to a toxic organism, whether it be poop not coming out of the colon properly, whether it be encrusted poop in the colon, whether it be lungs that are fried from constant smoking, etc. What they want to do is say, what I'm getting at here is, say you have a cramp, okay? You have constant cramps. But you didn't know that the cramp was caused, or with the, say you have a cramp, and you don't know why you have the cramp. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor gives you medication, like a painkiller or some type of medication to stop your cramps. And they go away, so you believe you're better. But what if the cramp was actually your body trying to tell you something, that something's wrong? What if it was saying that, maybe you have earaches all the time? Maybe you have, and you don't know why. Maybe there's a huge encrusted amount of fecal matter in the region of the colon related to the ears, and you just didn't know that. What if your ailment, your ear ailment, your throat ailment, or your cramp ailment could have been gotten rid of if you cleansed the poop out of your colon that was related to that particular part of your anatomy? But instead of the doctor knowing about the colon and to cleanse it, he'd rather treat your symptom, put you on a medication, instead of taking out the problem, which is a toxic part of your anatomy. When part of your anatomy gets toxic, when part of your organism gets toxic, your organism will send signals to you to warn you, whether it be a sore throat or an ear infection or an ear pain or an eye pain, etc. There's just signals for your body. It's not, oh, I have something wrong with me. My eyes hurt. I need to go to the doctor. The doctor's gonna fix my eyes with his medications. What the fuck is that, man? That's insanity. The medication, man, that's a big subject. I'm going to get into that big time in future 4-hour rants, 5-hour rants, 6-hour rants, etc. The body was not designed to ingest medicines with fillers and chemicals and all sorts of strange research ingredients. Many of these ingredients have been proven to dumb your mind down, man. Away from that for a minute. I'm at 1 hour and 27 minutes. The relationship of the pituitary gland to the cecum as well as to the functions of the body as a whole is too intimately involved to be overlooked. We have found that colonic irrigations can... Okay, I already said that. Okay, page 41. If you have never had a colonic irrigation, you have missed the most pleasant and comfortable means by which the colon can be washed out. You are able to lie restfully on the colonic table for a half to 1 hour, depending on the condition of your colon. Look in the classified telephone directory for chiropractors, naturopaths, physiotherapists, and ask if they have a colonic equipment, or look under the colonic or colonic irrigations. Excuse me. 1 hour and a half. I mean, I've been talking all day. After ranting for 7 hours, you start mixing words up. Look in the classified telephone directory for chiropractors, naturopaths, physiotherapists, and ask if they have colonic equipment, or look under colonics or colonic irrigations. Simple. I mean, I should read this about the tonsils right now. Doctor, your tonsils you should not take your fucking tonsils out. And I'll make a video about that in the future, about an hour video or so. Just to inform the public how important your tonsils are. I mean, these doctors have people so bamboozled, hoodwinked, and brainwashed in the United States of the Matrix. They got people thinking that your tonsils can just be taken out and it has no effect to the rest of your anatomy. It's insane. Same goes with the foreskin on the penis, etc. I mean, these doctors are fucking butchers, taking parts of your anatomy out that you need But since you don't know how to do your own independent research, you go all wide-eyed and hopeful to the doctor, all beady-eyed like a little puppy dog, and believe everything he tells you. Do I need my tonsils, sir? No, you don't need your tonsils, little Bobby. Your tonsils have no purpose. We'll just cut them out. Okay, doctor, I believe you. I believe you. You're a doctor. But it's like, motherfucker, little Bobby, you didn't do any goddamn independent research to verify whether or not your doctor and what he's telling you is truthful or has efficacy. I mean, some of these doctors, man, I mean, god damn, what a circus. What a goddamn circus. Again, iatrogenics. I mean, and the Matrix has got people so plugged in and so brainwashed that people are. I talk about iatrogenics with people and iatrogenesis, and people say, "Oh, that just happens. It's okay for over 100,000 people to die a year through iatrogenesis, because doctors accidentally gave the wrong prescription or they fucked up while they were doing surgery, etc. It's okay. That happens. It's like, dude, you've been so programmed that by the Western Matrix paradigm that you actually believe that it's okay for these motherfuckers to kill people by accident. And remember, they're practicing on you. This is why they call it a practice. They're practicing on you. If their practices had efficacy and were backed up by intelligence, wisdom, and God, they wouldn't be killing people, little kids, by giving them too much of this or that, or making kids go insane by putting them on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, things like Zoloft and Paxil, etc. I mean, some of these motherfuckers, they get put on these antidepressants, again, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, and these are antidepressants. And these motherfuckers end up killing people, jumping off buildings, doing crazy shit, becoming completely different people. I mean, holy shit. Not to mention all the heart medication they're putting people on. I mean, the United States, I believe right now, is the number one killer in the United States, I believe, is heart disease. And it's like, here's the thing. If the United States and the pharmaceutical paradigm and the Western medicine paradigm and the allopathic medicine paradigm actually had efficacy and it worked and actually helped people, then why the fuck is the number one killer of people in the United States heart disease? Why are there so many fat fucking people in the United States? Why are there so many mentally ill people on Zoloft, Paxil, Ritalin, etc.? Why? If we're so healthy. If this medicine had efficacy and it actually worked, then we would be a healthy nation. We wouldn't be one of the sickest nations on the goddamn planet. We claim to have all this advanced technology and all these surgery tables and all these scanners and all these crazy fucking surgical tools and all this medicine and shit. But if it had efficacy and it worked and it actually had, it actually worked, then we wouldn't be one of the sickest, most disgusting, spiritually backwards nations on the planet. And I'm not saying that I don't like the United States. I love the United States. I love this place. I don't like what's happening to it. I don't like these punks coming in, these Monsanto punks coming in and completely taking over. I mean, they're patenting seeds. They're trying to patent nature. They're playing God. Look at the GMO rat studies. Look at the GMO rat studies. All linked to infertility. I mean, there's things that affect your sperm, affect your mind. And, it's just, the GMO thing it's going way out of hand. This Western medicine shit is going way out of hand. And again, it's not that I don't like the United States. I don't like what's happening to it. And I know that this was a rant on the colon, but there's other subjects that I throw in during my discussions and my rants. And one of them has to be the Western medicine thing. I have to. I'm passionate about it. Again, if our medicines and our things work, then why are motherfuckers dropping like flies from cancers? Why has diabetes gone up significantly? Why is there 1 in 50 now autism? I mean, goddamn, something's going wrong. Again, it's okay for 100 to 400,000 people to be accidentally killed by the wrong diagnosis or the mistreatment of wrong surgical practices on people. It's okay for children to die from taking these medications. It happens. There's always a small group of people out of the group that have adverse reactions. Well, it's like, fuck, that's insane. Nobody I know has ever died from overdosing on celery juice or overdosing on eating raw garlic for medicinal purposes. No one I know has killed themselves from drinking cayenne pepper shots. No one has ever died from taking a goddamn herbal supplement that I know of. No one's died from a goddamn vitamin overdose. Not that I know of. I think it might be one, actually. I think in Food Matters, the vitamin expert says that there's been one overdose or one death related to vitamins, and that it was false, completely false. Watch Food Matters and then look that up. And no one's died from drinking too much hibiscus flower water. No one's died from eating too much spirulina or Phanosoma and Flos aqua blue-green algae. No one's died from eating too much fucking broccoli. No one's died from drinking too much juice. No one's died from drinking too much fucking tea or, eating too much rice or eating vegan. I mean, goddamn, compare the statistics of an alternative standpoint to that of a Western standpoint. And look at the deaths. Rampant death in the Western paradigm. Almost zero death in the alternative standpoint, from the alternative standpoint, on the alternative side. And people in alternative medicine are usually twice to 10,000-fold more spiritual than these people that are like robotic drones on the Western medicine side, who just execute commands like computers. These pharmacists and these doctors, etc. And I'm not saying that there are not good doctors out there. I'm saying that there are good doctors out there. But the good doctors. I mean, a good doctor is usually an MD who is also a naturopathic doctor. That's why I like Gabriel Cousens so much. He knows both sides of the scale, man. He's a medical doctor and a naturopathic doctor. He knows what works, and he has done so much study. I mean, he knows which side of the scale is better, and and through the statistics he's put out, through the books I've read of his, I believe him as well completely, and that's alternative health. And it shouldn't even be alternative health. It should be the non-alternative. It should be the first choice. People look at alternative health as a secondary option. Oh, it's alternative. No. It has more efficacy than the Western health paradigm. You just can't see that yet because you're most likely still brainwashed by it. Remember, there's big programming here. Big pharma programming. You've been watching that shit on the television since you were a little kid. Being programmed with all their fucking psychological messages and all the shit. Now, I'm not saying that certain things that these Western medicine practitioners do aren't bad. You cut your arm off or get hit by a car, the emergency room has some goddamn efficacy. But when it comes to treating disease and curing disease and keeping the immune system strong, etc., these motherfuckers don't know what they're doing. They're trying to use genetic engineering and they're isolating various amino acids from natural compounds and mixing them and rearranging DNA and shit. And it's an aberration on God, in my opinion. Remember, God gave us everything we need here in this Garden of Eden that we've ruined and turned into a shopping mall. I mean, if you knew who owned the pharmaceutical industry and who gains money from this, I mean, and I'm not going to go into that. I'm not dispelling that. I mean, you would completely question the efficacy of these people. And I'm not saying that these pharmacists are bad, man. They're just doing their job. I'm saying the people at the top of the pyramid, they know what they're doing. And they're doing it great. They've bamboozled they've bamboozled people very well. They've dumbed down this with all the Disney programming and all the military psychological messages. I mean, it's crazy when you get into it. It's fascinating though. But I mean, these are the subjects we need to be covering if we want to start beginning, the evolutionary cycle of growth here on planet Earth. And it starts with you. It starts with you. When I got into the whole health thing, I mean, I used to love to just try to persuade other people to get on my side of the scale. And it worked to a certain degree, but essentially, I mean, you really want to make it about yourself. Like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. It's much more effective to become the change than know the change, how to change. It's like Morpheus says in I believe the first Matrix at the end after Neo saves Trinity from being killed in the helicopter. I believe if it's in the first one, where Morpheus says, "You know what, Neo? You will come to realize, just as I did, that there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path." Again, first Matrix, Morpheus to Neo, after he saves Trinity. You know what, Neo? You will come to realize, just like I did, that there is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. What I'm getting at here is a lot of people get into alternative health. I was one of them, in raw foods, etc., and they just want to just rant about it on Facebook and try to persuade other people to get into it. And that's all right, but you're going to persuade a lot more people if you become a living exemplification of the morals which you claim to live by, instead of just ranting on Facebook. Become the change and then rant on Facebook. And we need to change our ways here in the United States is what I'm getting at essentially. And I mean, we need to get off all the processed and junky fats. We need to get off all the crappy canola oil and all the GMO. GMO, I mean, it offers a way to feed starving countries. And it's like, do you not know anything about geoengineering though? Do you know what that's a totally different topic for a different subject, but I mean, a lot of these starving countries are being, their weather is being modified so that they have no crop output. So they become desperate, these little third world countries, etc. And the United States comes in and acts like Jesus Christ, their fucking savior. Oh, we have the answer to your drought problems. We have an answer to this. Your crops won't grow properly. Here's our Monsanto seed. You have to understand geoengineering to understand what I'm talking about right here. I'm saying that the United States military essentially is fucking weird noise. That the United States military essentially is. I'm not going to get too into that, actually. I don't know if I feel safe dispelling that information at this time. I don't, as a matter of fact. What I'm going to say is that it's clearly out there. The evidence is out there. If you pull your head out of your asshole big enough, well enough, you'll be able to look up the information and find out that geoengineering is real. What I'm saying is that a particular country can create a weather modification program over a particular country and completely cause them to have a drought. And the particular country that caused the country to have a drought will then come in months later after the country's in turmoil because they have no food to eat and say, oh, we know you guys are starving, but we want to help you. Here's our seed, blah, blah, blah. Here's this, here's that. Acting like Jesus fucking Christ. Even though they created the problem. But it's unbeknownst, it's not known to that particular country because they're third world. I mean, it's crazy, and I don't need to hear any fucking bullshit if people are watching this, bashing me for talking about geoengineering. If you want to learn about geoengineering, if you want to bash me, be prepared to be chewed apart and be prepared to be crushed by the information I will lay on you, because it's real and it's here and it's now, and we need people that are activists to help to change what's going on here. 98% of the United States population, I heard, I think it was Dave Wigington said it, is 98%, or 98% of the population is now vitamin D deficient. We're responsible. Vitamin D is so essential to the human organism. It's the catalyst for so many different reactions to happen in the body. And if you get cut off from the sun, what happens to a plant when it gets cut off from the sun? It either doesn't grow properly, it grows small and weak and fucking, it has no strength, or it just fucking collapses over and dies. If you don't think you need sunlight, you're fucking crazy. Look up global dimming. Start taking pictures of the chemtrails that are being sprayed above your house. Start learning what's in these ingredients. This is a discussion on the colon. I'm going to get back to the colon. Great things to watch on before I keep going on fucking what's it called? Geoengineering is watch the documentary Look Up on YouTube. It's called Look Up. It's free. And also watch what in the world are they spraying? And look up Dave Wigington. Dave Wigington. Wigington. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this under 2 hours if I can. Okay, I'm gonna kind of cut it off from that for right now. I'm gonna maybe say one more quote. Okay, page 17, top of the page. Be prudent, be wise. Prevention is better than no cure. Don't take my word for it. Prove it yourself by taking a number of colonics. My own life will not be affected in the least by what you do or don't do, but the life it may save could be yours. Okay, I'm going to read now. I'm going to end the colon discussion now. Here's the colon therapy chart. You'll get this chart like this in small form if you buy this book. If you go on Amazon, you can buy this book or this chart. These charts, they're about $6-7. They get shipped in a tube. Awesome charts it helps to place charts of the anatomy if you want to learn about it around you, so you're always surrounded by it. Okay. Whoop. I'm going to read off. This is fascinating. Page 117. See this chart? Oops. Everything's backwards. Look at that colon. See that? See how thin it is here? See how thick it is here? And how augmented it is here? Not augmented, disaugmented. It's been de-exalted. And then look at that. That's a healthy colon. See how it's nice and plump, it's smooth, it has nice articulations, etc. I'm reading off this picture. Badly distorted colon. Ascending colon. So there's your ascending colon. See it to the left? Ascending colon. It's the part, I'm trying to relate the part to you of what I'm talking about. Part of the anatomy. Ascending colon cut and opened. This is an autopsy. Here to show small hole in center of encrusted hard fecal matter more than 20 years old and lodged in the colon. 20-year-old poop. Encrusted fermented garbage in the colon. Wow. Okay, here we go. Some other great books. I recommend buying this book. Get it and read it. Equip yourself with the knowledge contained within this book so that you can not only help yourself, but you can, by helping yourself, see the efficacy and the message in this book, and therefore help spread the word about colon health to people that you know around you that are sick, or the family members that may be going through chemotherapy, etc. You need to. I'm going to make a chemotherapy series. Let me tell you, and I'm going to get down to the bottom of this big time. But continuing. Biden colon health, but also check out fresh vegetables and fruit juices. And fresh vegetables and fruit juices, Norman Walker has for the first time in history written a complete guide of the therapeutic uses of our more common everyday vegetable when taken in the form of fresh raw juices. It may be of considerable help. These are old books, so the content's kind of no, never mind. Colon health, a key to vibrant health. Get that one. Vegetarian Guide to Diet and Salad. That's more of a recipe book more than anything else. And they're not your average salads, let me tell you. The average salad is coated in secretions of very genetically modified salad dressings. These salad dressings are going to taste nothing like what you're used to. You're probably not going to think they taste very good. What you have to do is you have to realize that you have to retrain your taste buds. The first time you drank milk, you probably didn't like it. The first time you ate beef, you probably didn't fucking like it. But through repetition of eating something, you begin to train your stomach, gut, bacteria, etc. to enjoy the taste of it. So start eating these things. I didn't like green juice when I first started drinking it. Now I crave it, and I like the taste of it. Water can undermine your health. Dr. Walker sees water pollution as a cause of arthritis, varicose veins, cancer, and even heart attacks. A major problem in virtually every community in the country, his treatment of water pollution is revealing, comprehensive, and scientific. His findings and his recommendations for corrective action offer new hope. Water Can Undermine Your Health. Great book. Also check out the educational wall charts. such as the endocrine gland charts, the colon therapy chart, and the foot relaxation chart. Foot relaxation chart is reflexology. I'll do a video on that too. Become Younger. Become Younger might be called the cornerstone of the famous Walker program. This is another book. What place has nutrition in the scheme of good health? How can the body and mind be so tuned that old age might be defeated? Dr. Walker suggests when we embark on this program, which may change our eating, drinking, and living habits, we must have the courage of our convictions based on the knowledge which we can acquire through the principles involved in this program. To become younger means to have attained a state of sublime self-reliance and self-sufficiency, which no one can take away from us. Another Norman Walker book, The Natural Weight of Vibrant Health, Natural Weight Control. Back to the Land of Self-Preservation. Here's a picture of an abnormal colon of a 36-year-old woman. Look at how distorted it is. Look at that. Look at that, and then look at that. There's no comparison. Here we go, page 104. Do not think for one moment that colon... Verbal typo. Do not think for one moment that colon irrigations alone can, at any time and in any way, become a cure-all. Far from it. If you have not given much thought to what you put in your body, you had better wake up and do some serious thinking. I would suggest that you study my book, Guide to Diet and Salad. It's a good book. It's kind of outdated at this point. Not outdated in the sense that the information isn't good. The books are just old, and it's a great book, but I recommend getting more than just that book, which is, again, The Guide to Diet and Salad. This book contains samples of my own meals, about which thousands of people of all ages have written to say have changed their lives for the better. There is also another extremely important phase to be considered, the mental and spiritual side of our daily lives. Watch your mind carefully. Study its... Watch your mind carefully. Study its vagaries. Learn to control your thoughts. Whatever you do, don't go overboard on any philosophies which are not meant for intelligent Western people. Okay. On page 102. On the other hand, when the colon has been neglected for a lifetime, better instincts are dimmed, and the mind leans towards self-pity, which often leads to such perversions and lesbianism. Norman Walker was a somewhat opinionated man. I'm not saying that I agree with everything he says, including this quote. On the other hand, when the colon has been neglected for a lifetime, better instincts are dimmed, and the mind leans towards self-pity, which often leads to such perversions and lesbianism. That's outdated, man. Dr. Phil Valentine has some very interesting information on that topic. I'm more of a fan of accepting everyone who they are. But again, great book. There's some parts in it that are opinionated. Remember, it's an old book. It's older. But I'd still get it, man. This is particularly the case when the tonsils have been removed. That's interesting. There's studies that show that women who have tonsils removed are more inclined to become lesbians. That's weird. It's interesting. And again, I'm not against lesbians. I'm not against homosexuals. In fact, I love them. I love them just like I love everyone else. So don't bash me because I read a quote that said that, tonsil removal may be linked to different hormone releases in the male and female anatomy, leading to an abundance of estrogen or testosterone, etc. That's not what I'm getting at. And again, I don't give a shit if you think that, because I read that quote, I'm being a bad person because it said that tonsils being removed may lead to lesbianism. If you're too immature to listen to what I'm saying and realize that I'm just spreading information and doing my best to help people wake up, then get the fuck off my channel. Peace. But if you have the ability to stay and listen and you can absorb this, then more power to you. This is in relation to the tonsils. I'm gonna make a tonsil video, but I'm gonna try to make this video under 2 hours. As mentioned previously, one very serious cause of stress, tension, and fatigue is the removal of tonsils. In some very mysterious manner, tonsils are intimately related to the nerve system of the anatomy and consequently to the spinal fluid. Do you see how deep this insidiousness is in this matrix and with these Western doctors? I mean, they're removing our tonsils. I know. You need your You don't need your tonsils. Do you? You just don't think you need your tonsils because you most likely believe everything your doctor tells you. Yeah. Well, have you ever read a book about the importance of the tonsils? Have you? Have you ever looked and read how it's related to the quality of cerebrospinal fluid you have, etc.? Doctors are mechanical with the way they go treating things. There's not much spirituality in it. In Western medicine is what I'm getting at. We need to become more spiritual, more earth, more grounded. We need to get the fuck off of this system and go back to a natural system. And people think, well, the natural can't be as advanced as the technological Western way of treating illnesses in medicine. Motherfucker, idiot, have you tried it? Have you tried living on a naturalistic lifestyle? Most likely not. If you're telling me that a naturalistic vegan lifestyle, raw vegan lifestyle, is bad for my health and you've never done it, then you have no right to be vouching for the efficacy of what I'm talking about. You have no right to say that alternative health and raw foods, etc., don't work and have their place in health if you've never even fucking tried them. I tried raw foods for a week. I didn't like it. Well, you got to do a little bit longer than that. 1 week. I tried it and I didn't like it. My body craved meat. It's more like your parasites, your gut wall. Bacteria craves meat. We'll get into that later. I'm going to make multiple videos here. And I don't even give a shit if people don't even like these videos or if they don't watch these videos. These videos are people who can actually absorb this information. What? I'm on Facebook right now. I'm amazed at how much stupid bullshit gets talked about on Facebook. I'm absolutely amazed. This could be a tool for evolution. It's not. But I mean, someone will probably call me extremist for saying that. He's pro-evolution, man. He's an extremist because he doesn't eat meat. And he's an extremist because he doesn't eat GMO. And he's an extremist because he studies chemtrails. Fuck you. He's an extremist, man. Because he thinks you need your tonsils. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Please check up or look. Ugh, another verbal typo. Please check out my upcoming videos on vaccines, tonsils, Western medicine. Please continue to check out and look for my videos about spirulina. There's going to be multiple more. There's going to be more videos about AFA blue green algae. And I'm going to start reviewing many different superfoods and for vegetables. Make like 3-hour videos, like a 3-hour video on celery, just talking about the mineral content, the health benefits, its species, etc. Check my email really quick. And please also check out my upcoming videos on water filtration. I'm doing all these videos for free. I don't want anything from it. I'm just doing it to try to continue to wake motherfuckers up. I'm on YouTube, excuse me. Okay. Anything else I need to say? Well, let's try to do one more little quotation here. I mean, this book's cool. It discusses the thyroid, the hypothalamus, the spine, and how it all relates to health. The thymus, the heart. I mean, god damn, this book's awesome. Here we go, page 69. The entire body contains about only 5 quarts of blood. This is its entire supply of blood, and a healthy body does not add any more to it throughout its entire life. Nevertheless, during each 24-hour period, day after day, year in and year out, this tiny pump, the heart, pumps between 10,000 and 11,000 quarts of blood throughout the body from head to foot. Just think, during a mere 50 years, the heart will have pumped some 45 million gallons of blood through your system. Miraculous? No human contrivance could begin to equal that performance. Yet Almighty God created man in his image and contrived this degree for perfection. He's an extremist, man. He's talking about God. For whose benefit was this? For your benefit and for mine. Wherein lies the secret of health? Wherein lies the secret of such constant, timely, and effective service? It lies right in your midbrain in a mass of nerves called the hypothalamus. Okay, I am done with part 1 on the colon. This is going to make it 3 hours, but I want to eat something and take a shower and etc. I've been making videos all day. This is, again, I'm giving all the rights to Dr. Norman Walker. Every passage I read from that book belongs to colon health and Norman Walker. I don't want people thinking I'm taking credit for his work. Again, this is a great book. I'm promoting that people pick it up and check it out, and all his other books if you feel inclined. So again, on behalf of Earth's Health Net, peace be with you.